Yes, guys, I will try to involve you a little bit during the speech. So if you want, you it's better to be closer, okay? So I can hear you better. Okay, I think that we can start. Um, so, hello, I'm Antonio, and in this session, we are going to speak about getting started with architectural decision record. And yeah, thanks to the sponsor for making everything possible here in Trieste. About me, I'm a senior front-end developer in a Dreams Odigeo, and to be specific, I'm in the shopping basket team. So in the team that is responsible to orchestrate a checkout. This is, I think, it's important because we have we deal with a lot of decision that involves a lot of teams, different teams. So yeah, this speech it's yeah our findings. Okay, I'm the organizer of MAG, Marca User Group, proudly on the flyer media and community partner, and I'm also my free time cyclist. I usually cycle long distance. Funny fact is like 2 weeks ago, I did a race that arrived exactly here in Trieste. You can see me after more than 100 or 800 kilometers. So the session of today, agenda. First of all, I want to remark the fact that uh, I'm not an architect, I'm an humble front-end developer, and today is just a getting started session. So, as I said, it's just our finding. The session will be divided in 4 parts. So, first of all, an introduction, just to understand the ADR, and then we will spend a lot of time trying to explain why ADRs are valuable, okay, are a good investment. Basically because you can find a lot of documentation online about how to write an ADR, how different templates. So I will cover that part very quickly because there are a lot of resources. Instead, I see a lack of resources on explaining why it's important. Then I will briefly explain how to implement ADRs, and then I conclude. Okay, so let's cover the first part. So I will introduce this methodology, this approach with a scenario. So in a galaxy not so far away, there is a developer, and this developer is reading code. But this developer is a little bit confused. The code is legacy. The guy who wrote this code changed the company 2 years ago, and it's not so clear. And this developer is asking himself why this part is done in this way, why this function is required. And at this point, the story starts to be like an Indiana Jones movie, okay? This is the archaeological problem. This was probably meant for random motivation, a lot of hypotheses without understanding really why, okay? Raise your hand if you have found yourself in this situation, okay? So, a lot of you, okay? As you may know, there are two possible ends of this story. The first is blindly accept the decision and repeat it, or blindly change it. And oops, double click. Both are bad, okay? How to avoid this? The solution is quite simple. It's keep track, record your architectural decision, okay? First of all, what is an architectural decision? What is a record of an architectural decision? Is the answer that explains the why behind that decision and justify why an option was chosen over the other discarded, and how properly formalize an architectural decision. Sorry, probably the most simple format is this one. It comes from Olaf Zimmermann. Olaf defined it as a e-statement. Is defined as a lightweight template for architectural decision record, and we can see it together in the context of use case, scenario description, facing the concern you're facing. We decide for the option you selected over the discarded option to achieve this correctness criteria, this quality, this what do you want to achieve, accepting the downsides because and the rationale. Okay, as you can see, it's not complicated. It's quite simple, but there is a lot of information. There is a lot of really useful information. But this one is not the most widespread template for an architectural decision record. The most widespread is this one, and it comes from Michael Nygard. As you can see, it's a little bit more structured. So there is a title, the context group, the use case and the concern, then the decision, and the consequence. So the consequence are outlined, and then there is a status. This is very important. Okay, I think it's a step ahead compared with the previous template, and introduce the fact that the ADR is immutable. So when an ADR is supersede, is marked as supersede, and then you create a new one. And there is also an author that is very important because it enforces the skin in the game law. So there is the accountability concept in there. So let's let's look at a real example, okay? In this example, this is a fake scenario, okay? It's like a supposed to be small business where they do a CRM and they are facing a lot of UI defect problems, and they decided to use material design as the design system. So really front-end oriented. So you can see there is a title, then the meta with the status, the date, and the author. Then there is the context. Okay, the context is not only the technological context. Okay, so as you can see, technological describe the technological problem itself. So the UI development phase, it's poor, repetitive, error-prone. Developer they having a lot of problems. But also there is the political concern. So the C-level complained a lot for the user-reported problems in the last 3 months and the resources. So we are a small business with just one designer. That outlines the fact that the software is part of a bigger problem. Okay, this is really important. And then the decision. We consensually agreed to adopt material design, blah, blah, blah. So then the drivers. So main criteria, we followed the need to reduce the defects, and we decided to use a ready-to-use design system, and then we rely on the strength of the vendor. So we are considered bootstrap, and we considered also to create our own design system, but we prefer to pick something ready to use and very widespread, so something that can give us a long-term support. So they also outline the trade-off. We are going to lose some freedom, but we consciously accept it because we don't need any peculiar brand-based UI. And then the consequence. So the integration effort required to adopt the material design, then the benefit, the improved design consistency, the faster development, and obviously the fact that team members unfamiliar with material design will need time to learn. Okay, this is a good example from my point of view of an ADR. Well, created ADR. And usually an ADR does not come alone. It's part of a repository. Usually it's written in Markdown and it's next to the code. It's usually there is in your project there is a folder with all the ADRs, and this group of ADR is called architectural decision log with a group of ADR. An ADR, it's important to say that an ADR is not a working file. Okay, it's not the wiki or the Miro board where you decide. Okay, before you do your decision making, with identify the problem, you collect the options, select the criteria, and then you capture the decision. Okay, the idea is just to capture the outcome. Okay, nothing more. And so, as you could get, it's not a wiki, it's not a function analysis document. It's a description of the architectural decision, not only the solution, and it's not a marketing tool. Other problem. What is the scope of an ADR? Every decision is an architectural decision? Obviously not. It's up to the team define what an architectural decision is. Could be, structure patterns, non-functional requirements, contracts, API, library adoption, methodology adoption, or abrogation are all good examples. Okay. Also, this methodology is not suitable for all contexts. Okay, I have been working for 8 years in a good consultancy company, and I know that in some contexts you are just there to solve a specific problem. You are not the owner. You are there to do a specific task, and this obviously is not the right context. The good context to use the architectural decision record are the ones where you have the ownership of the code base, there is a complex scenario, as I said before, I'm part of a Dream Sodigio. We are almost 2,000, and obviously, as you can get it, the things get complicated in this, yeah, in this kind of companies. And here, I think it's a good example of, yeah, proper context, okay? Okay, I think we did a good work in this introduction. So now we can move to why the ADRs are useful. So let's start with the devil's advocate questions. As I said, I want to involve you. Okay, probably you have got your own idea on on this methodology. So I want to hear you. Tell me your devil's advocate criticism. Please, don't be shy. Okay? Okay, so there are other alternatives already in place. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, but okay, I will try to work against me. So for sure, another good point is it's bureaucracy. Okay, another one can be okay. Didn't we say in the Agile Manifesto that we prefer working software over comprehensive documentation? Okay, this is another one. Okay, but also, okay, stop wasting with your time with these silly things. Just write code and execute the orders. This is your job, no, developers. These are all, yeah, legit question that, yeah, we can make to this, yeah, approach. But I would like to, let's say, answer, okay? Yes, bureaucracy is expensive, but in a complex scenario, oral knowledge, it's even more expensive, okay? Try to compare, invest 20 minutes in writing an ADR and waste days in solving bugs or in useful discussion, okay? Or, okay, bureaucracy, but in the real world, would you ever buy a villa without a formal written agreement? So, as you could get, okay, bureaucracy, it's a liability, but sometimes it's necessary, okay? And in this case, brings transparency, clarity, ownership of the decision, accountability. Accountability and ownership should be, yeah, comes together, okay? And also, usually, managers like them because it's clear who is responsible for this decision. So I can go to you if you don't implement it properly. Also, in the Agile Manifesto, yes, we said working software over comprehensive documentation, but also it's written why there is value on the items on the right, we value the items on the left more, but there is value on the item on the right. It's not, okay? It's like a balance. And in general, we can say that written documentation can be very well written documentation, like good Jira ticket, stuff like that. It's valuable and save time and money in handovers, guessing time when you don't have documentation, uneaseful discussion, and also it's good for the author because it's a way to rubber duck yourself. And yeah, third devil's advocate question. Our work, it's writing code, but you know what? In this research, in this paper written in 2008, this research was done on Windows Vista development process, okay? They find that the organizational aspect of a software teams, it's a better predictor in general of the defects than any property of the code itself. So, as you can understand, these kind of things are really, really important and can brings a lot of value. And yeah, this resonates also the Conway law. Basically, Conway law says if you communicate badly, your code will be bad. Okay, so there is a mirroring process between your organization and your code. I would like to say two more things. And again, I would like to involve you. Read this list. Reading technical books, brush your teeth, attend conference like this one, write ADRs, or write a unit test. What do this list of things share? Very good answer. I will add also are all options with a positive asymmetry. So I'm speaking with the risk analysis in mind, okay? Are all options that cost, they need an investment, but this investment of time is known in advance and it's relatively small. But they potentially give you a great advantage in the future, okay? So it's like before, we don't waste 20 minutes of time, but we accept to lose days of unusable discussion trying to guessing legacy code, okay? And this is valuable also taking into account that something in between 40 and 80% of the typical project, it's like maintenance, and the 60% of this part is enhancement, new feature, okay, over the MVP. Also, the last thing that I want to say, and this is, I think, more personal, more grounded on my experience. I work in a, as I said, in a big company, I can say, with an architectural team accountable for the architectural decision. And anyone like me, I think, can say that the architectural teams easily become a bottleneck. I think that, not I think, Martin Fowler says, and I agree with him, ADRs can leverage a more, distributed accountability over architectural decision. So there is open the opportunity to co-create architectural decision because we have GitHub, we have this ADR you can contribute, and also the good side effect is the contribution accounting. So if you commit a part of the decision, we can see you did that, and so your contribution, it's transparent, it's clear, and everything is tracked. Okay, but you can say we cannot measure it. You can actually measure it, and two metrics that I want to suggest you is the customer release time should decrease in the midterm, and also the back ratio. Okay, I think I can suggest these two metrics to keep track of the benefit of this methodology. Then, if you are happy with tracking it with the same concept with Jira tickets, it's fine. I think it's not relevant. So, how to implement ADRs? So, it seems easy, no? Are like Markdown fine. So, what is the difficult part? No. First of all, we have to say that there are different templates. So, if you go in this repository created by Joel Parker Anderson, you can find all the templates. I don't want to stay here to describe each one, but it's not valuable here. Do it your own. But it's important to say that there are some mandatory concepts. So first of all, contextual information. Okay, the context is an important part of a decision. If you don't have the context, you cannot move to a decision making. Obviously, you have to summarize the bare minimum to understand the decision, the idea chosen. The trade-off, okay, an architectural decision is not just a description of what we decided, but includes the trade-off, okay, all the discarded options and why we decided that, and yeah, the judgment process, everything basically. And also, very, very important, the criteria. So what are the drivers that made us pick this one instead of the other ones, okay? And then the action plan. So even more step is if necessary. And then the authors, the people accountable. In general, the tone of voice should be objective, okay, transparent. It's not a marketing tool. And obviously, it's immutable. So if an idea is superseded or rejected, no problem. It's an important information in any case. So, okay, I would like to do with you another exercise. So I created that list of bad ADRs, and I would like to find the problems with you. So let's start with the most simple one, this one. We decided to use React because it enables to do a single page application. It's a good thing. Okay, this is too easy. This is not an ADR, it's just the decision. So no criteria, no trade-off, no option, no context. Doesn't work. So if you see something like this, it's not an ADR. So do not complain if it doesn't bring value, okay? It's not an ADR. Okay, let's do yeah, more real one. Okay, we need to rewrite a legacy CRM dedicated to law firms and lawyers. We are a small team of 12 engineers. We decided to use a new fantastic outstanding library called FUBAR that we saw during a public speech. It enabled us to better manage the state of the application, blah, blah, blah. And the consequence is that we use this outstanding library. That and our velocity will be 4 times faster. What is the problem of this? Okay, true. Another one is not objective. Okay, the tone of voice is not good. Okay, this is not the way you write the ADR. Okay, it's not a marketing tool, as we said. And also, this velocity will be 4 times faster. In Italian, we call it supercazzola, no? When you use yeah, marketing words to justify your decision. Yeah, this is not fair. This is not brings value to the decision-making process, no? It's like an hack over the decision process. Okay, so this is bad. So if you see it, it's bad. Okay, same context. So we decided, so I repeat, we need to rewrite a legacy CRM dedicated to law firms and lawyers. We have a small team of 12 engineers. We decided for an event-based architecture because it decouples the communication participant. And so as a consequence, we will use event-based architecture for the entire architecture, and the communication will be decoupled. What is wrong in this? Yes. And also, there is another one. Sorry. An action plan, but another more that I will tell you. Okay, why is this problem relevant? Okay, I described the concept, a context by why the solution solve the problem. Okay, okay, and then what you said. Okay, so always try to focus on. Okay, this idea is describing a context, but the proposed solution, does it solve anything? Is it relevant for this context? I mean, maybe it's relevant, maybe not. We cannot understand from this. Okay, if you are involved in a review process, okay, you should spot it. So another one, then I will go ahead. We are a startup building an e-commerce that should manage real-time auction. Okay, we are a small team, and the deadline of the MVP is 4 months. We decided to use Angular to build our single-page application. We could use jQuery to build everything or build everything from scratch with vanilla JavaScript, but it's too expensive. Why is this wrong? Louder, please. Exactly. This is a good point, but also I think there is no other real option. I mean, are jQuery and vanilla JavaScript real alternate? Why React or Vue.js are not there? Okay, so it's important to review also these things. Okay, I will go directly to the review. So the review process, it's a core part of this tool. So the ADRs go in your repository and becomes accepted like a standard PR, okay? There is an owner, the owner make a proposal, and then the team review it. And the relevant part here is that the team concept, it's relative, no? If your library is a core library that has impact with many teams, you have to keep in mind this metaphor. The decision is like a ripple in a lake or in a sea, okay? The biggest the stone you throw in the lake, the bigger the ripple. So, okay, you have to increase the scope of the team, meaning involve everyone touched from that decision if your decision is bigger or has more impact. Okay, this is the important part. And then keep in mind what our findings in the exercise. Is the problem relevant to be solved and recorded as an architectural decision? Does the solution solve the problem described? There is this matching. All the options described, are they going to solve the problems? Are there valid options missing? Are the decision-making criteria mentioned? And all the negative and positive consequence of the solution option reported objectively? And then is the solution described with an actionable plan? And finally, if the tone of voice is objective. This is the keep in mind list when you review an ADR. This is very important, so in the future you can really understand why the decision was made in that way. Final chapter, I want to mention a few things about the how to use generative AI in the let's say editorial effort. Okay, I did an example. This example is about the organization of this conference. Okay, but back. Okay, the approach that it works for me is like this is Gemini, by the way, is the Google artificial intelligence. First of all, I give to the artificial intelligence the structure. So I want to generate an idea with this structure. So the main part: title, date, context, decision, a consequence. Remarking what should be inside the context and the decision that are the more difficult ones, okay? And then I feed the AI with my notes, okay? In this case, it's another fake scenario. It's the Voxed Days, where the Voxed Days developers, or the developers that are actually organizing the conference, wanted to decide which tool they wanted to use to collect the participant feedbacks, okay? So we would like to create a tool to collect feedbacks that, on the talks and the conference in order to provide our proposal for the next year. We would like to find a solution that respects the following criteria: minimizing the effort of on our part to implement it, easy and accessible, and obviously for the participant, and minimizing the economic impact. We evaluated the following option: create a Google form, develop an ad hoc tool using a no-code tool like AWS Amplify or like a paid tool specific for the conference like Sessionize. And yeah, they decided to make a Google form because it minimizes the economic impact, it's accessible, and blah blah blah. As you can see, it's not a big effort. It's like taking notes on your decision making. You feed the AI, and the AI work for you. This is what the AI Gemini generated for me. It's perfect. Okay, took me I think 10 minutes. Okay, and the funny part is that when I tried to provide feedback on the conference, they actually did this with the Google form, and yeah, funny things. So, pro of using the AI, I think you save the editorial effort that can be quantified in 20–30% of the times that a good idea needs. And there is also a rabbit ducking plus effect. So to make the Gemini, the AI, understand your what you want to say, you should be really specific. And this is more useful than save time, okay? Because you spot the misunderstanding in advance, okay? This is really, really useful from you have to state your problem really, really well. I think this is super. So I will approach the conclusion. So I will leave also some space for your question. So learning outcomes of this session. Now you can explain this tool or approach and to the rest of your team. And yeah, most important, you are now, I think, able to demonstrate why such kind of approach is valuable, this or any similar, okay? I don't want to say that this is the solution for any problem. And I hope you will apply this tool in the proper way, okay? In any case, I will available near here if you want to ask questions. Yeah, additional resources that I wanted to give you to continue studying, okay? First of all, I mentioned Olaf Zimmermann. It's an architect. I encourage you to read his blog. There is a lot of resources about these problematics. Okay, another important, relevant, it's the blog post, when should I write an architectural decision record by Spotify. So we have a Spotify team member here. So I don't know, a lot of interesting things happen. And as I mentioned, the Joel Parker Anderson repo, where there are a lot of examples, the naming convention, templates. It's more about how to the metal, okay? And also the AWS guide that it's super from my point of view. Question from your side? This is actually a very good question. As I said, it's the ADRs are like usually are in a folder or also can be in a dedicated repo, okay? Where in this case we use this solution because we have microservice, so every microservice has a different repository, and we have this repo where the ADRs are collected. It's a convention. So when in your company this tool it's accepted and it's part of the culture, you know that you can go there. So or you can also point a specific ADR, other parts of your company tools like Jira, Lucid or Miroboard, whatever, to the specific ADR. But okay, there is no a simple solution. This is the real answer. Okay. Cannot remember the other guy. Yes. Yeah. Okay, thank you for asking this. This is very relevant. So the question I repeat, I forgot to repeat the other question, sorry. How we decide what is an architectural decision and what is not. I mentioned this, but probably I did it too fast. So what's inside the scope, okay? What is an architectural decision and what is not? This is a simple list. So structural patterns, stuff like that are a good example. Non-functional requirements. So I don't know, an example, the page load should be under 500 milliseconds, okay? So we keep track of this decision in an ADR, and we write a fitness function to test that every page loads in less this threshold. This dependency, functional dependency, but yeah, API, contracts, stuff like that, library, frameworks, methodology that we want to adopt, but definitely it's up to the team define what's inside and what's outside. So every team is independent. So there is not a working everywhere recipe. Don't know if I satisfy your answer. Okay. Any other question? Otherwise, we finish it 5 minutes, but 6 minutes in advance. Okay, so question. So thanks. I'm here. I would like to discuss you more about this because I'm passionate about this, as you could get. But also, if you prefer the async methodology to communicate, this is my email. So feel free to write me. Also on LinkedIn. So I will be happy to have a discussion with you about these topics. Okay.